Hello again. It's Vic, the Whiskey Minister here, coming to you live from my wee whiskey grotto up in the northeast of Scotland. I'm doing these drama day in December. I'm on to day 4 in my whiskey selection box that I received from my great buddies at the Really Good Whiskey Company. I'm really chuffed to get this. I did one last year. You might remember I did a drama day in December last year. Well, I'm doing a drama day again in December this year, and I'm loving it. I'm having a great time, really enjoying it, loving all the comments that are coming through from my buddies here in Scotland, but also the last couple of days we've had comments from America, the Netherlands, Colombia. Where else have we had comments from? Germany. So, folk watching all over the world. And as usual, there he is, straight away, my old buddy for down south, Bill Sharp. So, Bill's nearly always the first one on with a comment. How you doing, Bill? Good to see you again tonight, my friend. So, yes, we are on to day 4 in the drama day in December. And if you remember yesterday, I went across the water just a wee bit to Isla and we had a bruichladdie. Well, the day we're going way across the water. In fact, we're going across the Atlantic. So we're going to have a bourbon tonight. Now, if you've watched any of my stuff, read any of my Facebook posts, or been on the monthly Really Good Whiskey Company nose and tastings, you'll know that I'm nae a huge fan of bourbon. But I'm not gonna let my prejudge or my bias get in the way. I'm not going to prejudge this dram. So I'm going to give it a good try. So we have got tonight the Old Forester Statesman Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now, my understanding is, I didn't know this, I never heard about it, but my understanding was that this dram, this bottle, was created for a film. It was created for the film, let me just check, Kingsman, Golden Circle. Now, never seen it, not aware of it, so I don't know what the film was about. I don't know why they made a whiskey for it. But if it's a good film, give me a shout, and I'll maybe watch it. So this is, like I said, Old Forester, Statesman, Kentucky, straight bourbon. So, because it's straight, that means it's at least 2 years old. Now, you might think, whoa, that's not very old. But what you got to remember is that bourbon is matured always, always in virgin American oak casks and smallish casks, 200 litres generally. So this is straight bourbon. It's at least 2 years old. It's probably not that much older, but look at the colour. You remember the colour we had last night and the night before? Very light, but look at the colour in that. Really quite dark. Now that's all from the cask, and it's because it is virgin American oak. So lots of extractives in the wood, and they come out, the colour and the flavour comes out really quickly. And you've got to be very careful when you're using virgin oak casks, because you can make it relatively too woody in a short space of time. So you got to watch what you're doing. So quite a lot of colour there, I think, from a relatively short time in the cask. Let's have a nose. You see, it's really quite woody. Now, this has changed significantly in the cask. I poured it just before we started, and just had a wee nose, and it's really quite different in that 5 or 10 minutes. I wrote a couple of notes before I came on, but this is different to that. There's actually a hint of orange in this, sort of orange citrus, and it's really quite pleasant compared to when a wee nose just before I started. Yeah, it's quite woody. There's that that sort of chemically acetone kind of smell that I get off bourbons quite a lot, and a lot of vanilla. Now you'll know I love vanilla in my drams, but like I said at the start, I'm not a huge fan of bourbon. But this is getting quite interesting. That orange, the wood, vanilla, a little bit of coconut as well. I get quite a bit of coconut off bourbons. That's cis lactones coming out the American oak. A little bit of sort of mentally toffee there. That's a really interesting nose, actually, for a bourbon. So let's have a taste. It tastes like a bourbon. Not my favourite. It's it's not as good on the palate, I'm afraid to say, as it was on the nose. It's very coconutty, very woody, sort of artificially, chemically kind of flavors that I'm just not keen on in a bourbon. Now I know some folk love it. It's got a really good mouthfeel. It's really coating, and it's got a strong coconutty finish. Any of you Scottish boys on, if you play golf, at the coast, you'll know a plant called a gorse bush. Because if you're anything like me, your golf ball is just attracted to a gorse bush. But that gorse has that sort of coconutty smell, and that's what this smells like, and that's what it tastes like. You know, you can pick off the flowers off the gorse bush, the yellow flowers, and eat them. It's really like this, very coconutty, sort of grassy. If you're arriving late, this is the Old Forester Statesman Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. You know, it's not bad. You know, it's near Scotch, but it's not bad. It's mm, there's that initial taste. It's kind of spicy, woody, varnishy kind of thing, and that's almost sickly sweet, and that's what I really don't like. But as that dissipates, as that goes away, you're left with this finish, like I said, sort of coconutty and almost like sort of vanilla custard. It's lovely, lovely finish. Lizzie's saying there might maybe change with a wee splash of water. Aye, Lizzie, that would be great if I'd thought of that and been prepared. So I've not got any water through with me, but that might be a try. Put a little bit of water in it, see what you get. Thomas is agreeing. He says it's a nice finish. Once you get past the sweetness. Now there's Thomas for the States. Now I'm assuming Thomas knows his bourbons. So that's, you know what? It's not a bad dram. And as bourbons go, I would suggest it's pretty decent. I'm not a huge bourbon aficionado, but I've had a few with a really good whiskey company. Got a couple myself, but don't really know a lot about it. But that's, how would I say it? That's okay. It's not bad, but I wouldn't be running to have another one. Probably wouldn't buy it if I was in a pub. And I don't think I'll be going out and buying a bottle. But anyway, that's our drama day for the 4th of December. Out of my whiskey selection box from Shelley and the guys at the Really Good Whiskey Company. So I think I've had a wee sneaky look. I think that's the one bourbon, and I've got 21 scotches to go. So that's great. I'm looking forward to them. So hope you're enjoying your weekend, guys. I had a reasonable weekend. Forest Mechanics in Ross County didn't get beat this weekend. but then both games were postponed, so we didn't get a chance to get beat. But so hope you've had a good weekend. Hope you've enjoyed your football or your shopping or whatever you've been up to. I will see you tomorrow, round about the same time, when we will be, back on the Scotch. So thanks for coming along, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your comments. Love to see all your comments. Please fire them in. Tell me what you're dramming up, what you're drinking, and what you're up to. So thanks for joining, guys. See you all tomorrow. Have a great night tonight. Have a good day tomorrow. And I'll see you all soon. Cheers. Goodbye.